the AFCON Daily Show. In fact, the last one of the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. We'll be drawing the curtain on the show and the competition. It's been fun. It's been great. In the end, the Teranga Lions are the kings of African football. We'll get into that and all other matters relating to the AFCON 2021. And so your thoughts and comments are welcome. We'd love to hear from you what you've made of the competition in the last month or so. Send us a message on the number 0550-585832, 0550-585832, hashtag AFCON on Citi. And we are on Citi TV. My name is Nathan Kwao. Once again, it's fun bringing you another episode of the show. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, my guests are ready. I am ready. I hope you are for the final ride in terms of the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. The gang is here for the last dance. Not 10 episodes. I mean, the last show, as we call it. Susu Graham is on touch. I don't know which position that is. That point or wing?
Oh, give me whatever position you want.
Daniel Cranton is here. Hello. Hi. Francis Tahir is here.
Hello.
All right. Clearly, it's not the last time we'll be congregating around this table. We'll do that a lot more times. But in terms of the AFCON, it's the last time. Welcome back, everybody.
Thank you very much.
Okay. We'll get into the one person I'm eager to hear is Susu. Over the weekend, Susu was sending me messages. He said...
Well, you're trying to defend his position.
No. He said the spreadsheet finally won. Let's get into the results. Let's have a look at the results there. 2 games were played. Let's start off with the 3rd and 4th place playoff. The losers final, as it was called. It was Burkina Faso 3, Cameroon 3. Burkina Faso wilting in the shootout. Cameroon standing tall. And so the Lions, or the indomitable Lions, proving a bit too strong for the Stallions. They win bronze. And then in the final, it was Senegal 4, Egypt 2 in the shootout as the Lions reigned supreme over the Pharaohs. So that's who we have now, the new kings of African football. The number 1 ranked team heading into the competition became the number 1 team of the competition. They ended up winning. Let's begin with that 3rd and 4th place playoff between Cameroon and Burkina Faso. There you have it. The Burkinabés taking it. Guys, this turned out to be far more exciting than all of us predicted.
Yeah. I couldn't believe what was happening, to be honest, because, we I think on Friday we predicted that this could be very competitive given the circumstances. Burkina Faso raced into a 3-0 lead. I didn't see that happening. But there were so many questionable incidents in the game. One of them, the goal you just saw there. I'm not sure what Onana was trying to do there. But Burkina Faso fully deserved the 3-0 lead at that point. And I thought that from then on they had the game wrapped up. But somehow, I'm not sure what was going on with them. The Senegalese fans were quite furious. And I was monitoring some of the tweets from the Cameroonian journalists inside the stadium. They said they were hurling all kinds of abusive language at the players. And I think they sort of suddenly woke up. And you look at the sudden urgency with which they played, then got this particular goal. And then from then on, just sparked the comeback. And Vincent Abubakar, who came into the game with 6 goals, obviously found another, and then another, and the game headed into a shootout, and then eventually Cameroon ended up winning. But I think Burkina Faso will be very disappointed with the way the game went, because you cannot lead 3-0 and then end up losing the game in a penalty shootout. That has to be one of the biggest culminations I have ever seen in a 3rd place playoff match. It's almost as if they didn't care and they went to sleep, almost like they thought that they had the game wrapped up. And mentally, it looked to me like they thought that it was all over. But it's football. It's not over until you hear the final whistle. And for the Cameroonians, look at how much they're celebrating. It tells you how much they actually needed this and wanted this. Some of their fans, obviously, there was a bit of celebration. But it appeared to me that the players even celebrated more than the fans. So, and I think the celebration was more to do with the fact that they avoided disgrace and embarrassment rather than the fact that they actually won bronze. Because, I mean, what's there to celebrate if you win bronze at an AFCON as host nation? But the fact that they showed great character and great fight to get back into this game and get the victory. I think that's why they're celebrating. And all credit to them because, it is not normal. It doesn't matter how bad the opposition is. It's not normal to always fight back from 3 goals down to go and win. Whichever way that happens, so a lot of credit has to go to the team that came from behind. And for me, I think Cameroon more than deserve this.
All right. Daniel, great piece of ball control from Bertrand Traoré. That's like the smoothest bit you see in an AFCON. What went wrong?
I think before the competition, they made a pact with themselves that they will gift Cameroon in victory anytime that they face them. We saw it in the first game where they took the lead and then dashed Cameroon 2 penalties. On this occasion again, they take a 3-goal lead. 3-1, you are still opening up. 3-2, you are still opening up. And then 3-3. And once it goes to penalties like that, you always know you are going to lose. Now, in saying that, we also have to talk about the human element in the VAR and the want for drama. That's why I feel that decision was given. It was a clear foul on the goalkeeper. Abubakar clearly pushed. Yeah, he pushed the defender into the goalkeeper. That caused the goalkeeper to fumble the ball, and he tapped the ball into the back of the net. It was a clear foul. It was one of those things that when I saw the replay, I was like, oh, okay, the goal is going to be chalked off. And some way, somehow, they allowed it. It was such a clear foul. Look, he clearly pushed him. His hand was in the back, pushed him. Defender hits the goalkeeper, and then the ball fizzles out to Abubakar.
Because the goalkeeper is winning that cross. He's winning that one.
He's winning it. And even if he's not winning it, it's a foul. You don't push, you don't stretch your hand and push the defender. It was so clear. And I wonder why VAR didn't give it. But then when I thought about it, you can realize, you can understand. It's 3-2, it's drama, it's host nation. Give it to them, it's 3-3, makes the story nicer. And interestingly enough, nobody was really talking about the decision. And that just shows you sometimes the human aspect of things. We were all so enthralled by the whole situation that nobody really thought about how unfair it was to Burkina Faso. But they shouldn't have put themselves in that situation in the first place had they just decided to defend better, which they were more than capable of doing. So yes, Cameroon won. But it really doesn't mean anything. Win or lose, none of them won the AFCON. None of them wanted to be playing that match anyway. So yeah,
that's why I said the celebration was more to do with the fact that they avoided embarrassment.
Fourth, yeah. Because I can imagine the chaos that would have followed.
Oh goodness me!
No.
But like you mentioned, the human element to it. It's worth adding the fact that Andre Onana. He was feeling very generous as well. Yeah. And somebody made the point that he's not been the same since he came back from that 1-year ban. And I agree. Throughout this tournament, he's looked very unassured. Yes. And
you always knew that.
And this is a very quality goalkeeper.
Conditions.
And it's just not the same. So maybe he needs a psychologist to set him through, or maybe he's all of the time out of competitive football. Maybe, but there's something that is...
Is he on his way to Inter Milan, is he?
Yes.
But clearly you don't want to be prepping for your new season.
No, not at all.
He was out for such a long time. Since he came back, I don't think he's had enough appearances for Ajax. I don't think so. I think his first...
Since he came back, he had like 1 or 2 actually.
Yeah, his first one was in the World Cup playoff game against Cote d'Ivoire. And I think he was
the group game, the last group game.
I think he was man of the match in that game. I just think he needs a sustained run of games just to get the feel back. Yeah. But also, I'll not be surprised if he has a girlfriend in Burkina Faso. Because the first game he dashed a goal, and this one he's dashed another goal. And there's no excuse.
Stop being...
Come on.
It was possible.
So like he's promised the girl that,
he already has a girl who put him into trouble. And he went out for 1 year, so he
maybe in that time.
So maybe to get back ahead, he got to the Burkina Faso. You never know.
Just to complicate matters, he decided, I'll give you 2 goals. Susu, what do the numbers say? Did the XG tell us 3-3?
I'll go into that, but before I think I can understand why the Abubakar foul they got away with it, because I think they were looking at how the keeper dropped the ball, and what they saw is the keeper dropped the ball because his teammates crashed into him. They were looking at that. I don't think Abubakar's push was so forceful to kind of for them to say that, oh yeah, he's really pushed him. So I think that's what worked against the Burkinabe keeper. But I think the main thing I noticed was Onana has not had a good. I'm saying, look at the push wasn't.
I think it was quite strong. It may not have been a 200. Yes, it's just.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. The players they're always putting their hands here and there. That's what I mean. That it's because of the collision. I think we're looking more at the collision rather than before the collision. Exactly. I think that's what saved Abubakar in that situation. But I think you also shout out Abubakar for scoring 8 goals, one less than the AFCON record set by Ndaye Mulambu. I made sure to get the name right. I even checked his Wikipedia. They used to call him the assassin. So he's in
so
good
that's
company.
9 in an AFCON.
9 in an AFCON. Abubakar got 8. I think that's as many as Asamoah Gyan has had in his whole AFCON career. So
8 AFCON.
pretty impressive.
That was very unnecessary.
No, I'm just comparing. That's an African great.
It doesn't take anything away from Baby Jet.
How many players have 8 and above or 8 and below? You could have mentioned anybody.
In a single tournament, some players have made 8 goals as well. Lauren Poku scored 8 goals as well.
I'm just saying that you can leave
AFCON.
Baby Jet out of this.
It's not enough on Baby Jet. Please cool down. I know you are defensive because the spreadsheet beats you.
And the record is held by
Spreadsheet
Eto,
didn't
right?
beat me. We will get there. The spreadsheet didn't beat me. We will get there.
Okay, you will get to the spreadsheet and what is it and the
A machine that jumps at anytime there's a free he comes here. When they knock out a free, he jumps to another.
The spreadsheet
but the spreadsheet adjusts itself. It's like
So the thing that is out and it should continue to.
So we should continue.
The machine gave us predictions from day one.
Yes.
Every day it changed because every day there was a problem.
And new data
It's not new games are played.
But new data comes.
First they said it was Team A. Team A started flopping, they went to Team C. Team C started flopping, they went to Team D. Anybody can do that.
Can't
anybody do that?
Okay, you relax.
If I start the competition, I say Ghana will win, and Ghana goes out. Then I say Cameroon will win, and Cameroon goes out. I say Gabon will win, and Gabon goes out. Anybody can do that.
That's how it should be.
Anybody can do that. That's why it's a machine. The machine should give you accurate predictions.
I was about to make a certain reference.
It doesn't work like that.
I was about to make a certain
Then you should stop making noise.
To a senior journalist, but I won't make that reference. It's okay. Let's proceed.
We will get there.
Let's proceed.
We will get there.
It's just being mischievous.
It's okay. So you let's go through the data from the 3rd and 4th place playoff.
I think Cameroon had a very good game. Like we expected, they dominated the ball, and Burkina Faso were going long as expected. I think Cameroon did well to get into the box a lot. They took a lot of shots inside the box. But when you look at the goals, they weren't that high quality chances per what you would expect. Save for I think Abubakar's goal because the keeper was already out of the way. So, but they did get an XG of 3, so they kind of built up that XG. But this does include extra time compared to Burkina Faso had an XG of 1. So on the day you can say the better team won, but they were a bit wasteful because if they had to go to penalties, they weren't able to put the game to bed. And I think Onana gifting them Burkina Faso a goal won't show up on the XG chart. That's basically a goal just happened out of nothing. But yeah, I think we have mentioned Onana. I think it's very important to mention. I think Cameroon conceded 7 goals in the tournament. They scored 14, which was what really pushed them forward. So I think the only player who scored a goal that wasn't Toko Ekambi or Abubakar was Basogog, who scored in this game. So they had the 2 of them had a very good tournament, but the lack of goals from elsewhere might have been what sunk them in the end. Because maybe in some of those key games when those guys were not able to get a goal, no one else was able to come up. But I think it was a very good tournament going forward for Cameroon, but their defending left a bit to be desired.
In this particular game, a stat line from the data you shared jumped at me. The Cameroonians had 43 penalty area entries. Wow, the Burkinabes were that open.
Yeah, I don't think that, and that's why it's translated into 19 shots from inside the box.
Yeah,
so that tells you a
the
lot
Burkinabes were too open, and that number tells you a lot.
But I think sometimes when a penalty area entry, if you're defending so deep and you're basically sitting on the penalty box, it can be just there, on the edges of the box. Yes. But it's still, you don't want people that close to your goal. I think they didn't do a good job of stopping the attacks before they got to the box. I think they got a bit comfortable. And then when you look at their goals, they conceded 2 goals from set pieces, and then that one where it's like a long ball from nowhere. I don't think they did enough to defend the lead. I think when you're defending the lead, you should at least deal with their set pieces, but they didn't do that.
Okay, all right. The Cameroonians emerging as the 3rd best team in the competition. The celebrations from their players, brilliant stuff. They were so happy to have picked up a bronze medal. It just wouldn't have looked too good on them if they didn't win anything, but they got themselves a bronze medal. First Abubakar, top scorer, 8 goals there. Let's move it on to the showpiece game, the final on Sunday. It was between Senegal and Egypt, and it was the right to be called AFCON winner, either for the very first time or for the 8th time. And very early, referee Gomez of South Africa awarded the penalty. Guys, I didn't think we had an issue with this decision, right?
No.
Simple decision. But Sadio Mane couldn't put it away simply because Mohamed Gabaski, brilliant. Brilliant save from the penalty spot there. And from this moment onwards, it was Egypt who were trying to score on the break, and Senegal who were having more of the possession. That was a good shot from Mo Salah. That was a very good shot.
Great save from Edouard Mendy, the best goalkeeper in the world. So, so that's why you have to stand and be counted. He's not faced a lot of shots in this tournament. But when the shots have come in, he needed to show up, and he did really well to save that. Then I think for the rest of the match, Mendy was basically on holiday, but Gabaski was super busy, especially in extra time. Dieng had a few opportunities. That was the first one. Diving to his left, is putting a strong hand to it to stop that from going in. Was heading to the far corner. Then this beautiful cross, a good save. It may look easy, but it's not when the ball bounces like that and moving away from goal the way it did. And obviously, he had to do as much as he did to save that. In a penalty shootout, what we've always predicted with Gabaski, he chooses to go right the first kick and then goes right for the next three kicks. Saved one, obviously. And then, obviously, the other one that he didn't save, he only went to the left-hand side once. And for me, I think, even for the winning kick that Sadio Mane scored, he went to the right direction. He went to the right-hand side. But this time around, Sadio Mane, the ball was too far away from the goalkeeper. It was an interesting choice for Senegal, in my opinion, to go with the two centre-backs at the start. Yes. Koulibaly and Diallo took the first two kicks. They always tell you to send put your best foot forward. I'm not sure centre-backs have shown themselves to be very good penalty takers, especially in this AFCON. But they took them away quite brilliantly. This it was coming. I think once Gabaski kept going to the right-hand side and the Senegalese kept going there. This was very similar to the Sadio Mane one that he saved in regulation time. There was power, but it wasn't too far away from the goalkeeper, so saving it was quite easy. The height was perfect for him, and then he saved that. And then, we kind of were on scorecard when the shootout was happening, and Mendy was doing what Mendy always does. He was moving too quickly for every penalty for every penalty. And I remember Christopher Nimley saying, "Why don't you just stay for once, and make a decision to dive only when the kick happens?" And then Mendy stays. He's rooted. Kick comes before he dives, and he saves it. I mean, not the greatest of kicks, but if Mendy moved too quickly, he doesn't save that.
He doesn't save that. Then your overall thoughts really on the penalties and what happened.
And then obviously, winning kick. This was better than the one he took in regulation time.
It was quicker, more powerful.
Not more powerful. It's just
a better penalty.
Farther away from the
better placed.
Better placed penalty.
Exactly.
Okay.
Look, I think we saw quality penalty kicks. The one I feel sorry for is Abdul Mumim. That was a solid penalty, just unfortunately for him. Sometimes to hit the inside of the bar and go in. And I think Mendy made it was a very interesting decision to duck, because the ball could have hit him and gone into the net, and he watched it. As it hit the post, he quickly ducked and he went past him. It was
for those who may be asking, assuming it cannoned off the post and him and into the net, what would have happened?
It's a goal.
Okay,
it's a goal. Look, it's just one of those things. Egypt prepared, and you could clearly tell that they had prepared. Their game plan was to take this game into penalties, defend. If everybody did their job, the match will go into penalties, and everybody did their job. Gabaski did his job. He's not in the pool to sleep. He's in the pool to save. So you can't say somebody deserved to win it in 120 minutes. If they deserved to win it in 120 minutes, they would have scored. So it's just, look, it's one of those things. And what I actually admire about the Senegalese is their fight and their resolve. If you looked at their body language after 120 minutes, I was a bit scared because they looked defeated. They looked like they didn't want to be in this situation. And for Mane, who had already missed the penalty in regulation time, it didn't tell a very positive story going into the shootout. But if you look at the quality of their penalty kicks, Look, you could tell that this was something they had practiced. This is something they had anticipated. My problem was with Mendy, and when Scorecard Fent has mentioned it, Mendy doesn't have the best penalty saving record. Even his technique to saving penalties is a bit suspect. The way he sways up and down.
But isn't it a bit to give the kicker?
I feel
a lot
small. Those things work for smaller goalkeepers. So you saw Dudek do it a lot, but it's not very imposing in the pool. It plays against the opposition because you have that physique. When you spread your arms up like that, you are almost covering all the angles of the pitch.
So for the kicker,
there's no need to be bopping about. That I feel that one works for smaller goalkeepers, but that's just my 2 cents. But look, once again, it's one of those things. Unfortunately, the decisive penalty kick for Egypt was a bit poor. It was a bit too close to the goalkeeper, and that's another one of my problems. If you are facing a goalkeeper like Edouard Mendy imposed, that's why I say I feel sorry for Abdul Momin. Even if Mendy had moved to the right direction, he went for the extreme in terms of the corners, and that's where you have to put the ball because he's so big, he's so tall, his arms are so long. If he spreads them, more often than not, he's going to get the ball. So for Egypt, it's just unfortunate that they chose to execute a poorly taken penalty in the final, because in the semi-final, in the round of 16, top class super penalty kicks from all the players who put the ball on the spot. Just unfortunately for them, the missed one came. 2 missed ones came in the final. But that's the thing, when you go to penalties, by all means, somebody is going to win. And I'm just happy for Senegal. They've been through a lot, especially their head coach. To be the captain, he missed the penalty in 2002. They lost 2019. He's head coach, and they lost in the final. And then to come all the way here to the final and then go into a penalty shootout where everybody expects your opposition to win because they've been in that situation twice already leading to the final. They already look like they have won. And to turn things around and win it at the end of the day, it's lovely. I wish I was in Dakar today. Today is a national holiday. I'm a bit tired. I would have... it would have done me some good if I was in Dakar today, just to get a bit of rest. But unfortunately, Ghana cannot win an AFCON for me to get some rest.
I can tell you for a fact that this game is probably on rotation on national television.
Oh, yeah.
As it should be. And I just want to pivot off a point that Daniel made and speak about the penalty shootout. I have seen comments, most notably from Jamie Carragher, blaming the Egyptians because Salah didn't get to take his kick because he never got to his turn. And saying the point that many people have made, like that always put your best kickers forward. And yesterday, I think we had this conversation on Scorecard as well. Nimili held the same view about putting your best kickers forward. Egypt, let's be honest here. From an Egypt point of view, right? Salah is a more accomplished penalty taker, but in this tournament, I don't think Salah takes better penalties than Zizou.
He doesn't.
Yes.
The one who took Egypt's first penalty. So that certainly was a very key decision from them to make Zizou take it first, because so far in this competition, he's taken the best penalties.
Yes.
But also, it is worth noting that I think there's no guarantee really, and I don't think it is scientifically proven that if your best kicker takes first, you automatically win. So I don't even think that numbers say that you have
put pressure on the opposition.
And I don't even think that. And imagine, and you see, think about it. Imagine your best kicker goes first and he misses. I think the pressure that puts on everybody else is far greater than if another player goes and misses. Imagine Salah went to take his penalty kick first and he missed. Right? What kind of pressure do you think it would have on the rest of the players? Or that Mane went first and missed? So I think the psychology of it is not so clear-cut that if you put your bet, like we saw in 2006, that penalty shootout between England and Portugal. England's first penalty taker was Lampard, their best penalty taker. You know who Portugal's last taker was? Ronaldo. Their best taker at the time. Even at the last Euros, didn't Harry Kane take England's first penalty? That's their best taker. They lost. In the shootout, Ghana and Uruguay, Jam took our first penalty, our best penalty taker. He scored, we still lost.
2015, it was Andre and Jordan, and those two.
And they both scored, and we still lost. So, I don't think it is that clear-cut. And I think from Egypt's point of view, I don't see anything wrong with the arrangement of their penalty takers at all. And any attempt to try and blame that on the fact that Salah didn't take his first. I think it's a bit
like you said, Salah takes good penalties, but the point is, what's the guarantee he will score all the time? He missed one a few weeks ago in the Premier League.
Yeah, but friends, I have a question. The only guaranteed penalties are the first three. We know that, like based on the permutation of a penalty shootout. Every team will take their first three for sure. There's no guarantee you take your fourth or your fifth. Why would you not put your best penalty takers where they are guaranteed to take it to maximize your chances? I think that's what the argument is. I don't think they are saying that there's anything. Yeah, I don't think they are saying that having him fit is a bad thing necessarily. It's just that you rather have your best penalty takers where they can't score. Because you put Salah in a situation where
Egypt's first three players were good enough.
Can I give an answer to this question? Egypt had been in 2 penalty shootouts before this. By evidence of what we saw in those 2, we could tell that they take very good penalties. And that's what Fen said. The fact that Salah is a designated penalty kicker does not necessarily mean he's the best penalty taker, because we saw Zizou's penalty in the first 2, and there's some other guy, I forgot his name. But there were some quality penalty kicks there. Against Cameroon, Salah didn't have to take his penalty kick, and Egypt qualified. So then it shows you that they are more than capable enough guys to do their job. Another example I want to make in relation to this particular topic is 2008. And you see this, people like this sort of reactionary,
the revisionist type of
post-game.
Look,
these things annoy me. Why is Carragher even talking about? Look, 2008, John Terry is given the responsibility to take the last penalty kick for Chelsea. When he missed it, what was the commentary? There was so much pressure. How many penalties has John Terry kicked? Why was he allowed to take the 5th one? Why couldn't somebody with more experience take? How many? Do you have 15 experienced penalty takers on the pitch? No. Teams have like 3 or 4, so you have to spread them out evenly. The first and third kick, very important kicks, very difficult. The 5th kick also carries a lot of pressure.
It does.
So then you also need a top-class player to be on that.
So kicks 2 and 4.
Mane kicked the first kick. Is anybody complaining that Mane he kicked the last one? Is anybody complaining that Mane kicked the last one? No. Do you know why? Because Mane scored and Senegal won.
When you score, it's always easier to.
So I don't think. Look, these things happen. Salah has scored a winning kick in the quarter-final. Round of 16 against Cote d'Ivoire. Yeah. He didn't have to kick in the semi-final because they had already made it. And then in the final, he doesn't have to kick because some teammate has messed it up. And now it's Egypt's fault for putting Salah at the 5th. Why didn't you complain about it in the round of 16?
All right, then let's move on to another aspect of the penalty shootout. Something that highlights what we've been saying, for us here at Citi TV, what we've been saying a lot about penalties and the fact that it's moved away from being a lottery. The famous bottle owned by Mohamed Gabaski. And there you have it.
Clearly, I just want to point out something. If you look very close, you see Koulibaly and Diallo, their names and their spots. It was actually where he dived. So it wasn't more about, maybe we thought he was picking a side.
No, maybe he had walked into it very ready.
He had looked at because I saw him diving and I was like, why is he diving? Then I saw the bottle after that and I was like, actually, it wasn't that he was picking a side. It was more so that they were going to go to that side.
How many penalty takers has stuck on this thing? Probably like 10 or 11.
But you see, it highlights what we say about you preparing. Look, it may or may not work, but the bottom line is you never walk into a shootout blind. At least you had some info. On a day, a few things can derail you. But the point is, you know that we know what these guys are going to do. And if you have a bit of luck, the technique is bad, your dive is good, you save it. Susu?
Well, I mean, if you want me to talk about penalties or you want me to go into the whole show?
Just give us the final.
Let me go back into the penalties just for a second. I think Senegal, they were lucky with the first 2 penalties in my opinion. I think Gabaski did very well the way he dived, and they also got lucky with Egypt's penalties. And talking about Mendy, I think Daniel made a very good point. He's a big keeper. You do this. Look at how Donnarumma doesn't move around. Donnarumma comes, he spreads his hands, he stands straight. He waits and then he makes his move. I think Mendy should use his big body more. I think he's not confident in his penalty saving ability, which is why he dives early and which is why he's not saved a lot. The one time he decides to stay a bit still, he was able to save the penalty. So I think it's a psychological thing for him because I don't think his ability to save penalties is in doubt. I think he doesn't trust himself, which is why he dives the way he dives.
And he trains with the best penalty saver of our generation at the moment. Kepa. Why are you looking at me with that face?
No, it's true. But friends, it could just be that maybe he probably looks at Kepa and admits that. Look,
he definitely spoke to Kepa before this game.
This guy is
I'm just waiting for an interviewer to ask him. but I bet he did. But as things stand today,
of course, if
the
you face
best
Kepa in the
penalty
shootout,
saver now
you will win.
is Kepa.
Well, I'm sure you must have asked
Kepa
him,
guaranteed.
so what do
Kepa
I do?
saves any.
He says, so what do I do?
You put Kepa there, he saves some.
Okay, Susu, yeah, let's get back to.
You know it. Even Donnarumma can compare himself to Kepa.
Donnarumma is an actual good goalkeeper. He doesn't
Can we
need to,
talk
crash
about the
by
game?
any
Don't-
way.
Let's talk about
don't
the game.
mind this.
Don't mind defense heroes propaganda.
Anyway, so like I said,
Every keeper needs capabilities.
good one. I'll give that one to you. But let's talk about the game. I think let's just say something right now. Penalties are about 0.7 xg. So you remove that from what Senegal did. I think there's not much difference in what was created in open play.
Nice.
I think Egypt were very, they were very good with their possession. They used it well. They got inside the box. They took all their shots inside the box, which I really like. So they were trying to give themselves a high probability. The thing is, you notice that when you look at the defensive stats, they were really pinned back a bit. So you see their clearances is a lot more, interceptions a lot more, and the possessions lost in their defensive half. So even sometimes when they got the ball and tried to counter, they were not able to get out. I think that's what hurt them. I think the lack of quality in certain situations. But I think apart from Salah and a few other players, Trezeguet here, there's not a lot of quality in this Egyptian team, which is why they ended up playing the way they play. Because I think on paper, you look at Mohamed Salah and you think to yourself, wow, this is one of the best players in the world, so his national team should do well. But I think there's like a Lewandowski-Poland situation. Outside him, the players around him, you don't see as much quality. There's a few good players here and there, but I think on a squad basis, you'd rather have the Senegal squad than the Egyptian squad, even if Mane wasn't in the Senegal squad. I think overall, the difference in quality is that much. So that's how the game played out. We saw that possession-based style we expected. And Egypt being a bit more reactive as per the game plan. They took it to penalties. And I thought they would win on penalties. I think Gabaski had built this reputation up for himself. He lived up to it by saving one in normal time and one in the shootout. So I thought the Senegalese players would not be able to get over that mental block of facing Gabaski. But like I said, they got lucky with the two Egyptian misses. I think the second one was poor, but like Daniel said, the one that hit the post was a good penalty. He did everything right. Even that's why Mendy had to duck, because if Mendy hadn't ducked, he probably would have knocked his head and gone in, and he would have gotten away with it. So I think on the balance of the match, I think it was a fairly even match. It went to penalty. I think people are overplaying how well Senegal played for me. I don't think they created enough clear-cut chances, considering how much they got the ball. And a lot of times they got to the byline, played across, and it was almost to no one. So I wanted Senegal to win. I was happy they win, but I'm not come to say that Senegal deserved to win based on how they play. I think it was a fairly balanced match. Okay. They edged it a bit, but not enough for me to say they should have won in normal time.
Okay.
So judging by this game, do you think that Egypt stand a chance in the playoff?
Oh, very much so. I think Senegal
scores them 4-1 on aggregate.
You think so? I think the thing is, we've seen Champions
This style
League
of football won't work over 2 legs.
That's the point.
We've seen Champions
like
League.
when you defend.
But we've seen Champions
this style
League
of football is tailor-made for knockout games.
But we've seen
One-off
Champions League ties where teams do play defensive and get away with it. Because I think Senegal's finishing is a problem. And if your finishing is a problem, and you can get hit on their counter, because I thought when I was watching the game, I felt Egypt looked more dangerous when they went for it every time. And I think one of those attacks can go in. And if you are in that situation where they score one goal and now it's 1-0, you are chasing the game, you don't score. You go into the second leg, now you are chasing a goal. You can leave yourself even more exposed and get hit on the counter again. I think, though it's better for tournament football, I don't think it won't work in a two-legged tie. And like we said, they have Mohamed Salah. The other attacking players are not stellar, but they can make things happen. We've seen Trezeguet and other players make things happen. So I think it will
Daniel's
work.
best friend Trezeguet was crying more than anybody yesterday.
It happens.
Yeah, so but like I said, Senegal are obviously favourites for the World Cup playoff. There's no doubt about it. We've seen the two teams. They look better, but anything can happen. And like we said, if Mane hadn't scored that penalty and they lost, what would they have been saying? That they wasted their chances. And that's what I feared would happen. So.
Okay. All right. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, I go some of your messages and then we'll look at other things. We'll talk a bit more about the competition, the best goals and all of that, tournament awards, who won what, and all of that in the 2021 AFCON in Cameroon. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. Welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. Let's move it on to the awards, the individual awards that were handed out in the competition. Top scorer, we all know who the top scorer is. Vincent Abubakar of Cameroonian captain. He had 8 goals. Karl Toko Ekambi had 5. Sadio Mane 3. Ibrahim Akone 3. Gabadinho Mango of Malawi, he had 3 as well. I thought Toko Ekambi had 6. Okay, he had 5. Okay, all right then. So there you have Abubakar winning. The guys, no contest there.
Yeah, it was 6-5 before.
6-5. Okay, and then he moved on to score 2 more. So
but this has created problems. I don't think it's the Abubakar scoring that has created problems, but the mechanism that allowed him to score that many is created problems. Mm-hmm. And that's why Choupo-Moting, he says that he wants to quit the team. Because he said he's not a small boy for you to bring him into a competition. And then in games when he feels like he should be playing.
Oh, he has a point.
He does have a point. He's not playing. And that's what we're saying. And and Daniel, I think we made that point on Friday.
I made that point. Yes.
You know what? Because certainly somebody would come out of this unhappy. And in the end,
I'm talking about the semi-final.
Against Egypt.
Okay.
There were 2 substitutions the head coach made in extra time. Attacking substitutions. He brought on the left-footed, the youngster, left-footed guy who ended up missing his penalty. No, not in G. The left-footed guy. He hit in the Gabaski saved. The left-footed guy, youngster. He came on. He even had a shot on target, which was blocked and went over the top. And I'm wondering, you need a goal. You are clearly pushing for a goal so that the game doesn't go into penalties. You have somebody like Choupo-Moting on the bench who has experience, who has shown he can score. And you don't see the sense in bringing him in. Even if you want to push the game to penalty kicks, you don't think he's somebody who can take a penalty for you. They deserve to lose that game.
He said the defeat is on the coach, and that he won't be talking to the coach.
Saved PSG in some Champions League.
Yeah, it was a
match.
It was a Champions League.
So even you have that precedent that he's come off the bench in a big game and delivered.
Yeah, of course.
All right, let's move on to goalkeeper of the tournament. Goalkeeper.
I thought Gabaski should have won it.
Yes.
I really think Gabaski should have won it.
And I think that was a very easy choice.
Easy. Yeah. And you see, this is another reason why I don't like these stat-based awards. Because if you notice, even in the Premier League, they give the golden gloves to somebody. But yet in the team of the competition, you have players voting for a completely different goalkeeper. You saw David De Gea being the team of the competition for like 6 seasons.
Yes,
but he was never winning the golden gloves. Do you know why? Because the players who play with him know that he's a far better goalkeeper than 16 clean sheets or 14 clean sheets. That doesn't make a good goalkeeper. Yeah. The clean sheets is a whole defensive effort. So you cannot single it out on a goalkeeper. The Senegalese second goalkeeper kept 2 clean sheets in the first 2 games. That's testament to the team's good defense. It's not necessarily the goalkeeper. So yes, in as much as Mendy is good, those clean sheets could have been achieved without him because the defense is that tough. They hardly faced any shots. He was sleeping in the pool for virtually the entire competition.
Exactly.
And that is due to the entire defensive setup, not just Mendy. So I think if you are going to award a goalkeeper, you should award a goalkeeper who has won matches, who has saved his team points, who has saved his team from going out of the competition. That is Gabaski. He's come up with save after save after save. Of course, he's considered a couple, but 8 penalties when you add shootouts to regulation time penalties. And you see, I'm not to that school of thought that says you should exclude shootouts. Why should we exclude shootouts? If shootouts will guarantee me a place in the
it's a way of separating.
It's a match deciding factor. So you cannot exclude shootouts. 8 penalties en route to the final. No. You can't. Gabaski should have won that.
I agree, 100%. Really yesterday, I was going at it on Twitter, and people said that I should get out of there because
it was a very,
as a Chelsea fan, I shouldn't be speaking like that.
That's a very easy choice.
You see, and Daniel makes the point that I have been making since last night. The fact that Mendy kept clean sheets doesn't. He kept those clean sheets basically doing nothing.
Yeah.
He didn't save. Like he didn't face shots. He didn't have to make saves. You look at Gabaski's performances, and in every single game, Gabaski could easily have been named man of the match.
Yeah.
Out of 22 players. You understand? Mendy, yes, he didn't concede in 3-4 matches, but in all of those 4 matches, was he close to being the best player on the pitch?
No, come on.
He wasn't. It was nowhere close to being the best player on the pitch. So sometimes, yes, just watching the action itself is much better than just using stats, because I think stats can be a bit deceptive, and this is a clear example.
Can Susu please explain?
Yes, Susu, maybe you can explain some of these numbers.
Well, I think the simple thing is, I think it's just because I feel like the people who did the CAF technical committee felt that Gabaski had not played enough games. I think that's what worked against him, because if you remember correctly, even though this is including extra time, so it sums up to when it's by 90, it's 4.1 matches to Mendy's 5.3. So that's basically how, if you add it up. But if you look at it, Mendy only played one extra time period, if I remember correctly. Yeah, one extra time. So he played 5 matches. And Gabaski basically started 3 matches. He came off in one. He came on in another. So when you look at it, it's almost like he played 3 matches, even though he made 4 appearances. They went to extra time in every match Gabaski played. So it's like he was on the pitch for longer. He was saving shots. He was very, decisive in shootouts. But I think they also don't consider shootouts as part of the goalkeeping. So I think when you look at it on those things, the fact that they don't consider shootouts and the fact that he wasn't really starting as many games, because if you look at El Shanawi probably played as many games, quote unquote, when you look at the minutes, it's probably similar, saved a similar amount of shots, kept even more clean sheets. I think he kept 2 in the long run. I think that was the kind of thing. I think even some of the clean sheet stats, it works against Gabaski, because if you don't finish the game, sometimes you're not credited with the clean sheets. So there's all these things going on. So I think Gabaski did have a good tournament. I think if he had played maybe a game or 2 more, he would have won the award. But I think the fact that he wasn't considered a starter, and it's almost like you started less than half the games in the tournament, is what worked against him. I think it would be difficult to come and say a player should win player of the tournament or keeper of the tournament when they have. I think when you look at it that way, you can understand why he wasn't given the award. It was harsh. I think when you look at it on the face of it, he had a better tournament. But if you are playing less than half the games, quote unquote, I don't see why you should be given an award. So I think that's the only thing that works against him. The matches he played, it's literally just that.
Do you remember, what's the name of Gedo from 2010?
Yeah.
The AFCON? You know how many minutes he played?
How many? But he won't play the tournament. He won't go.
He came on to play the
But he didn't win player of the tournament though.
Yes, but he won top scorer. So the
I mean,
problem
that's the top
Hold on.
How else are you going to win top
the
scorer?
same
Can they
thing
take the goals away from him?
the same thing applies to goalkeeping. I can play 50 minutes and make 5 saves.
I don't think it's
true. But it's true.
I disagree.
It's the same analogy.
I
You see,
disagree.
it's about impact.
Because
I play, well, yes,
I
it's
don't
about
understand
impact.
these
It's about-
technicalities
it's
and
the
these
same
FIFA
analogy.
awards based on impact. It's all the whole thing. You can't tell me that because someone has better impact in their 2 games, they should win player of the season. It's like telling me someone's 10 games
not
can
in
win
2
them player of the
games.
season.
It's not too. You see, that's the point.
You see, round of 16, goalkeeper gets sapped out. He comes in, he saves, he makes a crucial save, goes into penalties. He's the reason why they qualify. Quarterfinals, he does the same thing. Semi-finals, he does the same thing. In the final, he wins man of the match for the final. And you are telling me that because somebody played 2 more extra games in the group stages where he virtually slept in the post, didn't have 1 save to
He
make.
played one.
No.
Mendy
not
played
justify
1
this.
extra game more than
No
Gabaski.
one is going to give you a tournament award for playing less than half the games. It's not going to happen.
He didn't play less than half the games.
He basically played 3.5 games.
That's
And
not
even that one.
That's not 3.5.
And
It's 4.5.
that's why I'm explaining to you that the extra
minutes
time
played.
thing has added to his
Wait.
minutes. But
Susu-
when you look at the
Susu-
CAF
So
technical
extra time
thing,
is not part of football now.
they won't consider it to play.
Then
4
let's do a
games. That's
coin
what I'm
toss
saying.
after 90 minutes so that nobody wastes their time exerting energy.
But that's what
for
I'm
an extra
saying. He
30
did not
minutes.
play the games
Didn't
required.
he play
No, you see,
4.1?
Susu, this is my
Yeah.
point.
But that's what I'm saying, that no one is going to say that because of, they're going to look at the extra
Susu-
time as part of one
Susu,
game.
if I score
That's
a
what I'm
goal,
explaining.
if I score a
only
goal
use
in
it to
extra
do a
time,
comparison of
will it
stats.
add on to my goal scored in the
Yes,
competition?
it does.
So why
So why is it that my
count?
minutes played in my extra time will not add on to what I've done in the competition?
Because you haven't started the required number of
You
games.
let's
That makes sense.
You let's move on.
That's what they use. I'm just saying, you didn't, based on their criteria, you didn't deserve it. You can disagree, but unless you are going to fight with Mr. Motsepe
They
in South
themselves, they
Africa,
know they are
you
not
just
serious.
take it like that.
They
Okay,
themselves,
all
they
right.
know they are not serious.
The conversation is heated now. We'll take a quick break. Let's do the AFCON Daily Show. When we come back, we'll look at some of the best goals from the competition and wrap it up on this show and on the AFCON 2021. All right, well, welcome back. This is the AFCON Daily Show on Citi TV. Let me read a couple of messages. King Pisky from Bono region says Sadio Mane and Aliou Cisse deserve the trophy. I didn't believe I was watching African football. What a game. Gameli, aka the Monkey Man, fence friend, says, unfortunately, I resumed work today, so I'm missing out on the show. Big congrats to Senegal and Cisse. I bet the old lady is watching at home by now.
God bless his mother.
Okay.
Friends, your in-laws, they worry.
Yeah. Ezekiel from Nigeria says, congrats to Senegal, but I think Gabaski should have won goalkeeper of the tournament, and Abubakar should have won the tournament's best player award.
I agree with the Abubakar part.
All right. Derek from Tema says, congrats to Senegal for winning. Gabaski deserves the golden glove. And Nanaya Dansuman says, I hope the GFA executives were watching Senegal lift the trophy yesterday. Have they thought about it? How will Ghana do the same with their persistent, selfish attitudes. It says fire burn them all. All right, let's have a look at the goals or the top goals of the competition. 3 or 4 weeks of great stuff. We saw some lovely goals. So we saw some of the goals, the lovely goals from the AFCON. Guys, if you had to pick out your favorites, which one would it be?
Mango.
Gabadinho Mango.
Oh God.
Against Morocco.
That was a fabulous strike. I have a bias for long range efforts, but that was truly special.
Daniel.
Andrea, you.
Okay.
No, it was a really good goal.
He hit it really well. 10 face goal. Interesting. Susu?
I like the Tunisia goal a lot. I think that's the one.
It
was a very nice team. That dummy was amazing. I think it was tactically intelligent. It just looked like the way lovely.
Oh, that was good.
But the free kick from the Comoran player deserves a special mention. That was
honorable mention.
And he does it. It's not a fluke.
What's his name? Hakimi's free kick also against Malawi. The one that
was that the best free kick we saw in the competition?
I think the Comoros.
The Comoros.
Oh yes.
Distance.
Oh yes.
Shock value.
That was the best.
I don't know. I like Bertrand Traore's goal against Gabon.
Yeah, goalkeeper.
Because to try that, it may not be the night, but I think it was the bravest. All right, let's have a look at our Citi Sports AFCON 11 there. Abu Gabal, goalkeeper, Salif Sisa, left back, Abdou Diallo, centre back, Kalilu Koulibaly, and Issa Kabore of Burkina Faso. Great stuff. More El Neni. I thought El Neni had a very good competition.
He did. Very efficient.
Idrissa Gana Gueye did. Gustavo Sangare, Sadio Mane, no surprise there. Then Karl Toko Ekambi and Vincent Aboubakar. So the players came from Egypt, Senegal, Burkina Faso, and Cameroon.
I think my only gripe is maybe an Egyptian centre back should have been in there instead of Diallo.
Okay.
They were not consistent
minutes.
enough.
Hegazi
They'll
didn't
go
play
down to your metrics.
tournament to get with that.
Down to your
Enjoy
metrics.
that.
Okay, that's what you're going to use.
Nathan, lastly before we continue, lastly before we close, thank you everybody for spending the last month with us.
Yes.
But a machine's job is to give us accuracy. I don't need a machine to be jumping and changing predictions after every 2 games because I can do that myself. You can do that yourself. Fent can do that. So if a machine is going to be chopping and changing, then what is the use of the machine? Anybody could have predicted Senegal will win in the final. Couldn't you have done it? Albert, couldn't you have done it?
The machine predicted it from the quarterfinal. By the way,
Friday said it. You see now he said the quarterfinal. The quarterfinal.
Okay, guys, we're wrapping it up.
The quarterfinal.
That's our show. Okay, that's our show. Thank you very much for watching. You spent the last month with us. It's been fun. It's been great. It's been super. We'll do it again whenever the next big tournament. Daniel, whenever the next big tournament comes around. The next time a big tournament comes about, trust us, we'll be here to guide you through. Thank you for watching. Have a good one there. We'll return to regular programming. Like I said, until the next big tournament, please keep watching Citi TV though.